Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. I'm back again with Peter X. Feng, the author of this book, Identities in Motion, Asian American Film and Video. And he's my co-host for our festival about Asian images and film. Welcome back, Peter.
Thank you, Robert.
Now, like the film we just showed, The Good Earth, our next film is also based on an epic novel by Pearl S. Buck. This one is called Dragon Seed, very important film from MGM in its 20th anniversary year of 1944. And it has a cast headed by Katharine Hepburn, Walter Houston, and on loan out to MGM from Universal Pictures, Turhan Bey. Now, this was, of course, during the Second World War, capitalizing on the success somewhat of Pearl S. Buck and The Good Earth. But what a movie, what a cast. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, if The Good Earth is a little bit unspecific about the exact historical period it's representing, this story is very
Dead
specific.
on, yes.
Right. It dramatizes the resistance of these Chinese peasants to the Japanese, or actually
in the Second World War.
During the Second World War, as they were expanding into China, so that at first when the Japanese arrive, the Chinese treat them as every other invader. They've of course been conquered many times in history, and they just settle down and hope that if they wait it through, they will leave before rising up to actively resist the Japanese occupation by the end of the film. And they are of course inspired to do this by Katharine Hepburn. I went through her biography and tried to find out what motivated her to take this role. I couldn't really find out. I just assumed it when she found out that Chinese women all wore pants, that she found this very appealing.
Could have been. I'm sure they also cast her and wanted her to do it because her name would help draw an audience, and there's not a big name male co-star.
Right.
I mean, Walter Houston was not really, I mean, he was certainly a great actor, but not considered a big male draw. Turhan Bey was just starting out, and he was a big favorite with the fans. You know, kind of a Hollywood hunk at that time, but not really, you know, a big name co-star. So, but it is a most curious casting, and you know, she's so Bryn Mawr, so kind of elegant in her own way, so distinctive, the voice and everything. To see her playing a Chinese peasant at that is really jarring.
And I wish you would not go in the street alone.
Why?
Other men will see you.
I do not look at them.
I do not want them to look at you. You are my wife.
But I cannot stay always in the courtyard. These are not ancient times.
If I complained before that Louise Reiner's interpretation in The Good Earth was somewhat passive, this film lays those concerns to rest.
Right.
She motivates everything. It's Katharine Hepburn. She corrects her mother-in-law on the proper way of caring for an infant because she's read books. She is not like the other wives that's at home when the day is done to cook food for her husband. She's off instead hearing a lecture, learning about the Japanese incursion. She pushes her father-in-law to support the rebellion against the Japanese. As the film goes on, they join a resistance group, and they're off kind of fighting guerrilla war with the Japanese, and she bobs her hair so she looks more like Katharine Hepburn as the film goes on.
And she begins talking a little more like Katharine Hepburn as the film goes on.
I think she does. And it creates an interesting effect with some of the supporting roles. Because it's Katharine Hepburn and Turhan Bey speaking to and trying to get the peasants to agree with them, the effect is you have these well-known white actors trying to persuade all these Chinese actors to take up common cause.
Right.
And one of the themes of the film is they talk about, I think they allude to the American joke about digging to China. They refer to, we work the land. What, you mean there's some other person on the other side of the world who's working my land too? But it's, of course, an important theme of the film that we are united with those people on the other side of the earth.
Right. Let's have a look. Here's a film with a cast that also includes Akeem Tamirov, Agnes Moorehead, and the star of MGM's The Picture of Dorian Gray, Herb Hatfield. Here's Dragon Seed.